All right. Good day, everybody.
Good day, everybody. If you can hear me and just type one. If you can see my slide and you can hear me, type 1 1 on your chat. Type 1 1 on your chat. Okay, perfect, perfect. So we go ahead. Um, Good day, class. My name is Engineer Osita Rukwe, regularly coming back to you. Today we'll be having a class on workshop manufacturing technology, MEE 209, workshop manufacturing technology. This class is expectedly for the 200 levels. And as usual, I would like to reiterate some of these things so that we don't get to ask me the same question over and over again. Um, you're expected to show commitment in attendance, at least 80%. The platform automatically records your attendance. So as you come in, your name is recorded. So that is why it's important you use your real name. You use your registered name. If you have any names that is not if you are using um, uh, a name that is not recognizable, like you're used to using iPhone or Techno or the name of your phone, it will not be recorded because I will not know who you are. So you need to change your Zoom name to your registered name as a student. Then your attendance will be taken. Number two, you need to have a pen and a paper to jot down things. You have your notebook to take down notes. I might be saying some important things that may not be in the slide that is necessary when you want to write an exam. So it's your choice. Number three, you should be ready to partake in the assignments. Your assignments, when you do them, go a long way in also adding to your exam scores. When you submit them, I will let you know at the right time. I will let you know. Then also you need to be able to do research. All of those data that you use in doing social pinging and social media discussions, you should now streamline them into good educative and academic work. Finally, you get ready for your exam, which I wish you good luck. Okay, so I think one of the best features of a student is listening. You need to listen a bit more before you speak. What's your name there? Gospel Christopher. I think this is what I'm talking about. I'm just talking about it. And I think I just mentioned, I was about mentioning that apart from the exam, the final thing is that you will get a handout or what you call in your part of the world a handout, but you get materials. That material will be coming towards the end of the lecture and middle of the semester so that I will see that you have done your research work. Most times when students are given what you call handouts, it becomes a handout, it becomes a spoon feed. You don't get to do any research. So do research, get yourself educated, get yourself prepared. Towards the middle of the semester, I would get you some of the materials to assist you. But the materials are only for assisting. they are not the all and all. We should not take handouts as all and all. Gospel, I hope that is okay and that is clear. So no one should be asking me about handouts anymore. All right, having dispensed with that, I should continue with the lecture, workshop manufacturing technology, which is for this notation MEE 209. By way of introduction, safety and safe working practices in the workshop. What are the safety working practices in the workshop? Health and Safety Management System, HSMS, is a process for minimizing incidents of injury, illness, and even death at workplaces. Several safety elements have been identified which could influence the development of a successful safety and health management system. However, four of these elements have been found to be critical, and they include leadership qualities of management, employer supervisors, foreman, and so on. So leadership qualities of management is important. If the management of a workshop is not strengthened, you'll see that most of the employee would be indisciplined, and you cannot be indisciplined in a workshop. Everything in a workshop is a potential hazard. Everything in the workshop presents a hazard. If there is a spill, if there's a water spill, and a leader, a manager is not disciplined enough, is not on top of his game enough to tell the employees, wipe that spill, somebody most likely is going to slip on it and is going to fall. And when he falls, he might hurt himself. He might fall on the bed of nails or he might fall in fire. So leadership qualities is important. Worksite analysis of potential hazard spots. So every morning, the leader of a workshop team is supposed to call all the members of the team and talk to them about health and safety. So every worksite has its own analysis of potential hazard spots. A good leader, a good manager ought to know about that. And if you are an engineer in that site, you ought to know about the worksite hazards, potential hazard spots, and so on. Number three, hazard prevention. So once you have been able to know the hazard spots, you should be able to now find out how to prevent them. You should be able to now know how to prevent and control it. How do you prevent spill? How do you prevent objects hitting on your head? How do you, if you want to pass through a spot, how do you make sure that it's not a danger spot? So you need to look at all of those things. Quality and frequency of organizing safety and health training program. As a leader, as an engineer, how do you ensure that there is a frequency of organizing safety and health training program? What's the quality of those training? There is one thing to have frequent training and another thing to have a quality training. So all of these things, these four elements, these four key elements are necessary in a management system for safe working practices in the workshop. So next slide. Okay. In the next slide, you would see, please do not unmute. I have told us do not unmute. If you unmute, I will take you off the class and you may not be able to come in anymore. If there's anything you need to say, just put it in the chat box. All right. Let us look at carpentry and joining process. Carpentry may be defined as a process of making wooden goods and components, namely roofs, floors, partitions, doors, etc., with the help of carpentry tools. Now, it starts from a marketable form of wood and ends with a finished product. It deals with the specific work of a carpenter, like making different types of joints to form a finished product. Let us look at timber, because timber generally is the material that the wood is gotten from. Timber is a wood that is gotten from to make carpentry and joining process. So the wood obtained from fully grown trees is cut and is prepared for engineering purposes. For engineering purposes, the wood, oh yeah, the wood is known as timber. Now, timber of a live tree is called stationary timber. Felled trees after sawing is called rough timber. And after cutting into various sizes, they are called converted timber. So note this, the wood that is obtained from fully grown trees is called timber. Now, the timber of a live tree is called stationary timber. When the trees are felled and they are sawed, they are called rough timber. And after they are cut into various sizes, they are called converted timber. So you need to remember that. So when you talk about grain as applied to wood, you refer to the appearance or pattern of the wood on the cut surfaces. So the grain of wood is a fibrous structure, and to make it strong, the timber must be so cut that the grains run parallel to the length. If you look at some, if you go to the timber shed, you will look at some wood that are cut before they are planed. You will find out that they are cut in a particular way, such that they are not cut latitudinally, they are cut longitudinally, they run parallel so that the grains are in parallel lengths. When it's like that, it makes the wood strong when being used. What are the advantages of timber? Timber has the following advantages. Number one, it is cheaper and easily available. It is lighter, stronger than most of the materials that is used in construction work. Of course, if you compare wood to metal, you will find out that it's lighter, though it might not be stronger, but at least it's stronger than some other materials that can be used, like clay. You can't use clay, even when you have molded, put clay under molten, harden the clay, just like our old our old um, pot makers, you will see that it will still not be as strong as wood. So it is cheaper and it's easily available and it's lighter and stronger than most of the material. Next slide. Let us look at classification of wood. Now, wood suitable for construction and other engineering purposes is called timber, which we have said. Woods in general are divided into three broad categories. We have softwoods, hardwoods, and plywoods. Characteristics of softwood and hardwoods are described in the table. If you notice, I did not put plywood, so my first Google search for you, I want you to go and do a Google search and read about the characteristics of plywood. Read the characteristics of plywood. Read the characteristics of plywood. Are we together? If you get that, if you got that, can I see a comment? Can I see your agreement in the chat box? We are looking at hardwood, softwood, and plywood as the. I did not ask you to raise your hand, Olamide Damilare. Adebiyi, what sign is that? We are not in your mates. Better use a sign. Is it okay, sir, or no, sir? Which one is it? Did you get the Google search work I said you should do? Adebiyi? Better. Let us understand we are in a class. Olamide, put down your hand and write. Okay. So if you understand that, that is that. I wish all of you good luck in the exams. One of the advantages of coming to class is that you get to hear things that may not be in the slide. So I have said that. Get to understand about plywoods. All right. So between hardwood and softwood, hardwood is dark in color. Softwood is light in color. Hardwood is heavy in weight. Softwood is light in weight. Hardwoods are harder and denser. Softwoods are comparatively lighter. Hardwood has less resin content, and softwood has are more resinous. Hardwood is difficult to work with, but softwood is easier to work with. Softwood splits quickly, but hardwood does not split quickly. In terms of catching fire, in terms of how it can be combusted, softwood gets combustion easier, while hardwood does not combust faster. Okay. Um, Next slide. We need to talk of. Let me see. All right, Adebi. Yeah, that is it. Read more on the characteristics of plywood. All right. So another classification of wood is based on the name of the trees, like teak, babul, shisham, neem, kai, chair. I will encourage you to read on the characteristics of this type of wood. Teak, babul, shisham, kai, and the rest. Read on the characteristics of other types of trees that are not hardwood, softwood, or plywood. Examples are teak, babul, shisham, neem, pine, chair, and so on. All right, how do we season wood? Why do we season wood? Wood on its own, if you cut a wood, remember we had okay, Adebi, you are trying to help others so that they will see what what I was mentioning. Okay, the second one is actually read on the characteristics of other types of wood like teak, babul, shisham, neem, kai, and the rest. All right, why do we season wood? Why do we season wood? If you look at our the slides before, you will see that there is stationary timber, there is rough timber, and there is converted timber. All these are natural, and when they are natural and you have cut them, they are no longer living. So the wood may decide to die. Let me use those words. And when they die, they might get infested by termites and the rest. So you need to season them so they don't get weak over time. And if you, because remember, some of these wood, they use wood to build boats. And some of these boats go to high seas. So if they are not properly seasoned, they might not last. So a newly fed tree contains considerable moisture content. If this is not removed, the timber is likely to rot, shrink, crack, or decay. Seasoning is the art of extracting the moisture content under controlled condition at a uniform rate from all the parts of the timber. And this enables you to be able to use those timber for carpentry works that will last. Seasoning makes the wood resilient, lighter. Note that. What does seasoning do? It makes the wood resilient and lighter. Further, it ensures that the wood will not distort after it is made into an object. So it is important you know the reason why you season wood. Of course, seasoning here does not mean putting it Maggi or some of those things that you use in cooking your stew or your soup or anything. That's on a lighter note, actually. So seasoning is removing the moisture content of the the moisture content of the wood in such a way that the wood will not wrap, it will not shrink, and you do it at a uniform rate from all parts of this timber. Now, the main objects of seasoning is to reduce the moisture content. We have said that. And when it's taken off, when the moisture is taken off, the presence will render the wood unsuitable due to uneven shrinking. That is if you do not remove the moisture content at a steady and uniform rate. Let us look at, in the next slide, let us look at methods of seasoning. Methods of seasoning. We have natural or air seasoning. Natural. I hope you are following me so far. Please, if you are following me so far, can I get a response on the chat? If you are following me so far, can I get 2-2? If you are following me, can I get 2-2? Can you say 2? Can you write 2-2? Okay, excellent. Excellent. You're following me. That's awesome. Now let us look at natural or this is yes, the most common process of seasoning of timber used throughout the world. In this process, timber slippers, planks, and so on, cut from the wood logs are stacked in the open air. This method requires careful preparation of the stock ground. It should be level, free from debris, and on dry land. It may be a few centimeters above the ground level. Now, can somebody type very quickly? Why do you think it must be some few centimeters above the ground level? Why is it not on the ground? Why is it not on the ground? Who can quickly answer that? Why is it? Why do you think that when you prepare the stock ground where you will place this timber, when you want to season it by natural or air seasoning, why do you think you should not place it on the floor itself, on the bare floor itself? Why do you think so? Why do you think it has to be some centimeters at least above the level, above the ground? Why do you think so? Anybody? 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 Because of termites. Okay, good, Olamide, yes. But there is something more important. There's something, remember what we are trying to do. Olamide, yes, you're correct, but there's something else. What do you think? There's something else. Remember what we are trying to do. What are we trying to do? For not it getting raw. Well, it cannot rust now. Gospel, this is wood. Wood does not rust. It's not metal. I need that word. I need that word. There's a word I'm looking for. Remember what we're trying to do. And now we are saying, don't put it on the floor. Don't put it on the bare ground. Let it be some few centimeters above the ground. Whose mind can click on it? Whose mind can click on it? Anybody who gets it before 10 seconds will get, well, all what we are doing is for preservation. So it's not particular. That's not what I'm looking for. Anybody who gets it will have extra 2 marks. I'm going to give the person extra 2 marks or whatever he's going to get in his exams or anything. So the person just has to remind me. In the next 10 seconds, 1. To make it dry. Yes, correct, Olarowaji, to make it dry. Remember, we are seasoning to remove moisture. We are seasoning to remove moisture. So if you put it on the ground again, moisture will get into it. So Muhin Olarewaju, you are correct. Remind me before, before exams, during exams and after exams, that I promised you 2 marks extra, and that is for getting this quiz. All right, we go ahead. So the stock ground, it must be level, free of debris, and on dry land. It must be above the ground level. Stack pillars. These are constructed at regular intervals out of bricks or masonry or concrete, and maybe of 50 centimeter height from the ground level. Their top surfaces should be flat and level with each other. This is just the stacks where you put, these are pillars. If you have been to what's it called now? If you have been to timber shades, you will see how they place the cut wood there. There will be pillars, like 4 pillars that will hold the stack wood longitudinally. They are placed in the ground and moving up in 4 places, so that by the time you start placing the wood, they are encompassed. The stack proper number C. These are made of some timber shades, slippers, and planks. One stack should have timber of one shape and same length and width. So you stack them in sizes. You don't put 2 by 2 with 2 by 4 or planks. No, you place them separately as they are cut. All right, we go ahead. The timber shape to be seasoned is stacked in layers in such a manner that enough space is left between one layer and another layer above it. Enough space is left between one part and another part in the sum layer. Enough space is left between one stack and another stack. The stack length and height depends upon the length of the wood part being seasoned. A single stack may be 3 to 4 meters in height. The most essential consideration in making such a stack is ensuring free circulation of air around each part of the wood placed in a stack. So that's the most important thing. Because remember, you are using natural or air seasoning. So if air does not go through this, and it's natural air, it's not air that is unnatural or forced. If air does not go through all the stack, then it's not working. So you must place it in such a way that there will be spaces where air can pass. So because when it is seasoned with air, water will evaporate, and that is why actually you don't need to put it on the ground, which Muhyiddin has said. All right. The rate of evaporation will depend to a great extent on the atmospheric conditions. So, if you have a place where you want to do a natural or air seasoning and it is raining, if it is raining, then it will not work because the air is not flowing properly. It's raining, so you cannot obviously do natural seasoning. And you must be careful that there's no scorching heat. There's no scorching heat that would cause, and no strong winds that will cause excessive evaporation that may lead to development of shrinkages and cracks. You see, that is why it is natural. The seasoning must occur naturally. Remember originally when we said what is seasoning, it is a way by which we naturally control or naturally remove moisture at controlled rate. If it is too slow or it's too fast, it's not working properly. So if you look at the right hand side, you will see an idea of what we have done. A shed, that's a timber shed, and the placing the stacking of the timbers. All right. The outline of stacking arrangement, the time taken for air seasoning of timber depends on climatic conditions and thickness of the timber. It may take for 1 to 4 years to bring down the moisture content to 16 or 17% level. If you are logged off, just log in again if we do not finish the class. So the advantages of natural air seasoning are it is highly economical, it requires little supervision, it is applicable to thicker timber parts as well as thin section. The disadvantages of air seasoning includes it's a very slow process. It keeps the valuable land and timber blocked for longer periods, and hence in some cases may be uneconomical because you see it takes 1 to 4 years to bring moisture content to 16 to 17%. So for 4 years you lock a space. You lock a space. So it may not be economical, even though one of the advantages is that we should compare it with other seasoning process. It's economical and it requires little supervision. Once you set it up, you just leave it and go. And it's applicable to thicker timber. So thicker timber, you can use this to do it. But the disadvantage is that it's a slow process. It is dependent on the weather. It's dependent on atmosphere. So you should be sure that the place where you are is not too hot or is it too cold, and it's not too windy. So next slide. Water seasoning of timber. Water seasoning. You can also season timber with water. This is a process of naturally seasoning of timber that gives good results with logs of freshly cut trees. When the trees are placed in running water, the sap from the cells can be easily washed out. In place of sap, the cells get filled with ordinary water. When such logs are case, the water should be replaced every week. Placing the logs in water also saves them from unequal shrinkage at the cut ends and along the lengths. If left for more time in the open without sawing into smaller pieces. Hence, it is useful process in 2 ways. So here in water seasoning, we get to now see that you can even use water to season timber. You can use water to remove water. Remember, the water that is in timber is not real, is not pure water, it's not actual water. There are some places in Mexico and some other countries where in the bushes, in the forest, there are people who live in forests that can actually drink the sap of some of these trees. Some of those saps are nutritious. So it's not actual water, it's saps. Like palm wine is actually saps, it's only sap from the tree. So if those trees are cut, you need to remove those saps, you need to remove those kind of water from the tree. Who is that asking that question? Who is that? Abraham. Is he just coming to the class? So so you can put the timber in running water or in stagnant water, but you need to be changing the stagnant water for some time for you to be able um, to season it. So that is water seasoning. We go to another artificial seasoning using the kiln. This is a modern method of seasoning any type of timber in a short time. So this, you forcefully season it, you forcefully dry it by putting it in a kiln. Look at the diagram of a kiln there. You dry the timber in a specially designed kiln where there's a perfect control over temperature, humidity, air circulation. With the help of a kiln, seasoning of timber is possible to reduce the moisture content to as low as 6% within a very, very, very short time. Okay, thank you, Adebi, for telling that to Abraham. Abraham, I hope you had that. Maybe you tell him very well. All right. The next thing is chemical seasoning of timber by salt seasoning. This may be grouped under processes of artificial seasoning. In this method, the timber piece to be seasoned is treated with a chemical solution like sodium chloride, sodium nitrate, or urea. The essential quality of such a solution is that it reduces the vapor pressure on the surface of application. Once such a treated timber is exposed to natural drying, its water, the sap in it from the inner cells, moves to outer cells at very lower vapor pressure. The wood surface remains moist, while moisture from the interior goes on diffusing to the exterior. In other words, chemical seasoning of woods enables the timber to dry first from inside. Remember that as you are drying this wood, if outside dries faster than inside, it's not good because the outside will be dry, but the inside will be moist, and it will start. The wood will start spoiling from inside, and that is why this drying should be very systematic, such that it is dried on a controlled level. Definitely an advantage as it prevents the risk of cracking of outer shell of outer shell. All right, so that is chemical seasoning. Let us look at electrical seasoning and seasoning by boiling. It is theoretically, it's of theoretical importance only. Dry wood is a non-conductor of electricity, but when a high alternating current is passed through a piece of green timber, heat generated is enough to dry out the moisture of the cells, which do conduct some electricity. In this way, the timber pieces are dried quickly. The technique involves costly equipment, though, and even the consumption of electricity is so high that the process is uneconomical. Causes considerable weakness in them. So electrical seasoning may not actually be a very economical way of seasoning. So you can also do seasoning by boiling. This is also a quick method of removing sap from within the cells. The timber to be seasoned is immersed in water, and the water is raised to a boiling temperature and is kept boiling for 2 hours for 4 to 5 hours, boiling for 4 to 5 hours. The sap is washed out by this process. On placing in the air, such boiled timber dries quickly, but at the cost of the strength and elasticity of the fiber. Hence, this method is also very useful. Boiling, seasoning by electrical method, chemical seasoning are not altogether very, very economical. Even the last two, seasoning by electrical and seasoning by boiling, are not economical. The disadvantages to a bit more than the advantages, and is not usually encouraged. But chemical seasoning, okay, we might take this, but the best is artificial seasoning. The best is artificial seasoning because it's a controlled seasoning by using a machine. The water seasoning is okay, but you need to monitor it, because if you are using a stagnant water, if you don't see a rushing water, you need to replace the stagnant water every week. And there's the advantages of natural air and disadvantages of natural air. And we went on to talk about what the different types of method of seasoning in natural air, how you need to prepare the ground, prepare the stockpile, prepare the stack itself, how many meters above the ground it ought to be, and why it needs to be above the ground level. And we also talked about why it is necessary we season timber because of what we want to use it for and how we should do that. We also talked about how we can season wood and the different types of names we give to timber when it is stationary, when it is cut, when it is stationary, when it is a live tree, it's called stationary timber, when it is cut, it's called rough timber, and when the various sizes is called converted timber. If you are removed, we just log in again, please, so that we will end. I think I can do a summary. The summary is what I'm doing, and we'll round up in the next 2-3 minutes. So if you are yanked off, just come in again, click the link and come in again. We said here that in classification of wood, we have three types of classification. In the classification of wood, we have three types basically. We have the softwood, hardwood, and plywood. Hardwood, plywood, and softwood. We have seen the difference between hardwood and softwood, and I said you should go and read on softwood. You should go and read on plywood, sorry. Go and read on plywood. Go and read on plywood.